Enzo Maresca coming from Leicester City, moving to Chelsea. 5-year plan plus one. What we need to talk about though in this video are going to be the winners and losers at this club. And yes, you did see Reece James as a loser. I do want to talk about that. We will get into that part of the video. I do want to start with the winners though first, because there are going to be a lot of winners with this new manager, and I think there's some players that really we did not think about who really can excel at this club, especially with this manager coming in who really wants to play possession ball. And we have plenty of players that can play possession for us. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to be looking at the FIFA manager side here. So again, I'm just going to hop back over here to look at what we're going to be doing here and what we're going to be looking at. Now, three in the back makes the most sense, but the reason why we're having three in the back is because one of these is shifting from that right back position, because we know Enzo Maresca likes to play with an inverted wing back, right back, and not so much the left back, even though Cucurella did do that this past season, which again, he's going to be one of the players that we will talk about. But when we're looking at a fully fit squad here, there really is only a few players that we really want to put on this left side, and Levy Colwell is that player. For what he did at Brighton, was a ball maker, ball playing machine. De Zerbi really enjoyed him, and obviously we can see him playing in this position over and over again. Again, he needs to stay fully fit, but if he does, this is his position to lose. Now, again, Cucurella could win that over him at some point, and again, depending on injuries, but for now, he makes the most sense. Now, our center CB, this again, I think really makes it sense when we're looking at the team itself, because when we're looking at how good of a player this guy is, he is top notch, but again, injuries make a huge difference. If he stays fit, fully fit all season long, this again makes the most decision, because he can open up this space, again, play with the goalkeeper, which currently right now we do not have the proper goalkeeper. We will have to figure that out. So all three of our goalkeepers are pretty much out. So Kepa, Petrovic, and Sanchez, all three players could see themselves getting shipped out this summer. I think Petrovic is most likely going to stay, but Kepa and Sanchez are probably going to be sold, and we're going to have to go and look out for a ball-playing goalkeeper who, again, can move up into the midfield a little bit. So, again, moving up in this area to, again, spread out our defense and also unlock the attacking gegenpress that's going to be coming from a lot of these other teams. Now, the other CB, again, this I think makes the most sense when you're looking at this, and that's Trevor Chalobah. Again, I do think he will stay at this club. I don't see us selling him because of his value. If the board understands the amount of value this player has, they will not sell him, because what we saw in these last couple months was how important he is, and he's a young player. That's the big thing too. They didn't have to spend any money, and they can keep this player for a couple years, and then if they want to, they can sell him for a huge profit. Yes, they can get a profit right now off of him, but right now it makes more sense to keep this guy because of what he can do, his versatility, and moving again around. He could also be here, and he can also even play on the left side. This guy can really fill in any gaps, and he could even play up into the midfield as well, which again, that's a whole different topic, because again, the player that I plan on moving up here is going to be Moise Cancelo. I think a lot of people forget about this player. Played right back every now and then, and because of him, able to move from this right back up here makes the most sense with the double pivot, or even moving in this inverted right back, because yes, I understand Reece James has done this at Wigan, but that was many moons ago. It's been so long, so many injuries, and he did it in the championship. He did not do it in the Premier League, and I think that's one thing that people do not realize when it comes to Reece James. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a solid player, a great player, and if he's fully fit, he probably will be in the starting lineup, but you have to remember, he can't play in the first three matches because of the red card. So what we're looking at right here is probably the product that we most likely see in our first handful of matches. And if this is working, you do not want to disrupt that. And I have a feeling that Enzo is going to want to stick with what's working. Now, granted, if we do not win these first couple matches, Reece James comes back from his suspension, he's definitely going to get plopped in here. But this is one of the main reasons why he's going to be a loser currently at the club. And yes, I know that is a hard pill to swallow, but he definitely will be one of those. Now, one of the big winners, though, I think is going to be Nkunku. Now, again, we're kind of jumping around a little bit here, but the reason why I want to put in him as a winner, and I think the reason why he starts up top, not just because of his value, but the way he can link a play. Because what we're going to be seeing a lot here is a lot of possession ball with Enzo Maresca, and again, try not to lose the ball. And Nkunku is definitely one of those players who can drop back, play off anyone that is around him, and also make the runs over the top, which again, we're trying to almost have the team move up forward, try to suck them in with our possession. He's going to be able to unlock that with some of his runs and some of his passing, and therefore, again, he's going to be one of the key players. Now, same thing with him, with Fofana, with Reece James, are the injuries. Again, if he can stay fully fit, I do think, and maybe I'll eat my words at the end of the season with this, that he could go on to be Premier League Player of the Season with this system, because what he can do pretty much is magical. Again, I understand we have Cole Palmer, we have Enzo, we have Caicedo. These guys are all going to be playing well with each other and building off one another, but I do believe Nkunku will be that guy that's going to just get us into that next gear, score those goals, and create chances for our other players. Now, if we do drop back, though, into that midfield, the other player that I do want to see here, and this, again, might be shocking to see this, but Lavia, same thing. These are all, again, I understand injury players. We're hoping over the summer that these players do get fully fit. But if we see this formation right here, this is something that, again, could be massive for us for, again, maintaining the ball and, again, being very dominant in this midfield, especially with these two players in the midfield. Now, you're probably looking at this and wondering, well, where do we stick Enzo? That is the hard part. But what we will be doing is placing him out on the left side. Now, when I put him over here, you're probably wondering, how is this exactly going to work? The reason why this will work is because when we're thinking about Enzo Fernandez, which, again, there he is, what this is going to do, again, these two players right here with Lavia and Caicedo are going to be a little bit deeper. He's going to be able to almost drive up into this area here. So again, we're looking at this area that he can move into and, again, have free roaming. The big thing with this too is that he's not going to be sitting right on top of Caicedo, which we saw a lot last season. This, again, is going to give him a lot of freedom to work here, play these long balls, and, again, play a lot of possession. We've seen this time and time again, and therefore, again, he's going to be a player that's going to be almost moving into that 10 role, which I do understand. He didn't do very well with that, but he didn't have this support behind him. When he's going to be able to just constantly working the ball inside here with passing and dribbling, he's going to be that other player that can get create a lot of chances with Nkunku. Obviously, if we're looking on this side here, though, too, Cole Palmer is the other guy that is going to be getting the start here. You have to start this player, and same thing, he's going to be moving up into this area as well. So when we're really looking at this, if you imagine that Fernandez moving up as well, it's almost going to be a 3-2-2-2-1, and this, again, is going to allow us then to actually spread the center forwards out even more, and we will talk about that in just a second. But this, again, is going to allow Cole Palmer to really drive the ball from this area, dribble up, and also play the balls through the break the lines to our top three players, which, looking at these three players, I think they speak for themselves who we exactly are going to be picking. Noni Madueke, and yes, our last player I am looking at on this slide is Nicholas Jackson, because when we look at these guys right now, these three players up top, again, can all rotate. Obviously, Madueke being that left-footed player who, again, can cut in and have a curling shot, but he can also play the ball far post, which, again, Nicholas Jackson can definitely sit there. But now imagine all these players right here in the midfield playing through balls to these three guys, or, again, linking up with Nkunku, who, again, can drop back, turn, and then play a ball to Jackson, who's going to be making an overlapping run, or Madueke. This right here, again, is going to hit teams in all different ways that people are going to have a very difficult time to stop, because we are going to have channels going down the left side, channels going down the right side, and even right down the middle, because any of these players are ball making, passing players. They can all do it. And again, there's definitely freedom with all this. Now, yes, you could argue that maybe defense-wise, this will get a little tricky, but really, if Cancelo drops back to this right back position, Lavia drops here, we are going to see then Fernandez drop in, we're going to see Palmer tuck in as well, and Nkunku drop back as well, which, yes, that could be the weak point of this team, but you have to remember how solid this defense is going to be, especially with a better goalkeeper than what we have currently. This itself should see us do fairly well this season, and I do believe that we do have the opportunity to actually be one of the best teams this season. And like I said, if we're able to do that with what we have right now to avoid injuries, this team itself can go a long way to, again, I still think, which right now seems comical to say, but we can challenge for the Premier League title next season with a fully fit squad that I just showed you right there, because we have so many key factors. And they're, again, looking at Reece James, who, yes, currently right now is going to be a loser in this video, but he can easily come into this and start playing a lot better. We also have Conor Gallagher, who's most likely going to get sold, but if he does not get sold, he could somehow fit into this side. We have Ugochukwu. We also have, I'm trying to think, all the other players that we're missing, Raheem Sterling, Mudryk. There are plenty of players. And yes, we still have to buy some players as well that can come into this side and show their worth and really take it to any team next season. I think teams are going to have a very difficult time defending against this, and like I said, we have so many different options for attacking that you can't just shut down one side. You can't just shut down one player. There's so many different channels we can go down to, again, unlock a low block, but even the gegenpressing, because we're going to be overloading different areas of the pitch and therefore playing these pivotal passes, which all these players can do, and therefore, again, win games and see us, again, moving up the title or the Premier League table to, again, hopefully fight for the title this upcoming season. Yes, we do have conference, and that could throw a little bit of a wrench into the system, but overall, this team, I think, has potential to do great things next season. So that's all I have for you today in this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that, and I will see you in our next video.